And welcome back. We are on the road again today at Code One Barbecue, and I'll let Erica actually introduce a little bit more address, where we're at, and a little bit more about Code One. Thanks for having us today, by the way.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you. Well, I'm Erica. I'm one of the owners of Code One Barbecue. My husband and I started this business about 5-6 years ago, right out of our own backyards. We are a locally grown, local couple with kids here, and we decided to open our restaurant here as well. Yep. We're in the Market Basket Plaza in Wilmington, Massachusetts, and community is like one of our most important things that we care about, and we wanted to bring great barbecue to our community, so that's how we started.
Right on, right on. That's why we had you on one of the first on the road shows, because you are everywhere in the community. Yes. We were talking about it yesterday, not only for the community, all different scopes of types of people. We also, as entrepreneurs, all love watching you because you always talk about the building and the growth. We'll get to that. Yeah. Let's start right off the bat with so you have one aspect of your core belief here. The other is, let's talk about, because I do know about, Sean, so Code One. Why is it called Code One? We'll start there.
So Code One is actually an Air Force term. My husband is an Air Force veteran, and he was a crew chief, so he used to fix the jet engines on the planes, send them off to whether it was training missions or a real mission in war, and they would come back with a code to determine what kind of condition the jet was in. And so he used to say the jets that he worked on would always come back Code 3, which means they were falling apart and he wasn't going home that night. And so we decided to call Code One Barbecue Code One, because our food isn't going to come back, falling apart. Like, it's perfect when it goes out and it comes back the same way, So
Code One is the plane's ready to go out the door. Yeah, and that's why. Yeah. So that's it. And so there's the Code One name. And now tell us a little bit more about the little card you have in your hand and why you have it.
So this is lucky me, this is my allergy card. So I am a chef with tons of food allergies. So right. I have to carry this card with me everywhere I go. I like to call myself the allergy-friendly chef, but most restaurants are not allergy-friendly, and it can be a huge issue for someone like me who can get violently ill and be hospitalized, or anybody who has allergies and could go into anaphylactic shock. So I carry the card with me. I show it to the server. They show it to the chef or the kitchen line, and then we figure out what I can eat when I go out to eat, because it is nice to have somebody else cook me food once in a while.
Right.
I don't always want to do the cooking.
But with that theme and idea, you've been to a lot of non-allergy friendly restaurants. However, Code One prides itself in being extremely
We're very allergy friendly. My kitchen is centered around being gluten free. We have a gluten area, not a gluten-free area. Right. Everything else has to be gluten-free, and because of my wheat allergy, I can't have all of that everywhere anyway. And I said to my husband when we started this, I refuse to open a restaurant that I can't eat in, and I don't want anybody else to feel that way. So when you come here, you get gluten-free, dairy-free, all kinds of free options. You can even get vegetarian stuff if you really wanted to. So
at a barbecue shop.
At a barbecue shop.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's inclusive. And you know what? That makes people feel, that's awesome, because then everybody feels welcome. Now, with that being said, let's transition really into the culture, because I think that's one of the main reasons why I said I had you up front. You guys are everywhere in the community. You believe in the community. You're raising a family in the community. So this is what small business is about, right?
This is what small business is about. I mean, when people walk in here, especially our loyal customers and our barbecue family, we know their names, we know their orders, we sit and we talk about them, we know what's going on with their families. Like, we've shed tears with them, we've celebrated with them, we've seen so much happen. We're out in the community at all of the events. We host events when we can, and we feel as though we have been given a great gift in life, and we love to give back because of that.
Love that. And some of the beauty of having the barbecue joint with the food and the mobility of it is you do cater events. You are around town at different events, which I must say, shameless plug, I had you at my baptism way back when, and my kid's baptism. And I must say, a phenomenal job and an incredible spread that was brought, and it gives you choices, and it came with a server. So that is another aspect of it goes hand in hand with your business model, that you are in the community anyways.
Yes.
But you don't necessarily have to go the step further that you do go, and you do. You go a step further for the entrepreneurs online. You go a step further for a lot of the things you sponsor and help out with, the teams, the stuff you sit down and do for other businesses.
Yes.
One thing I would notice about this area, and I'd like to point out, is like, I wouldn't be surprised if I was a business owner in this plaza and I ran out of ones or something. You're somebody I could go to and be like, hey,
I got some ones for you.
And that's it. And so that
hopefully we didn't run out of ones
right,
too.
And everybody, right. And this is where it is like, hey, you got a little flower, you got a little, this is where it's almost that neighborly feel of small business. And I think you absolutely captivate that entirely. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really, really enjoy interviewing you and coming here, right?
Thank you.
As another business owner in town, like I feel like I can come here and get some barbecue.
Yes.
Or some advice on other things,
yeah,
right?
Do some social media talk or something
That's
like that, right?
Because you do all aspects and prongs of it.
Yeah.
And so with that, what about your social media? You've been doing a lot. You guys have a podcast and everything?
We were podcasting for a little while. It's on hiatus because there's no time.
Right.
Of course. My husband,
Which is a good sign.
he needs some real help.
Right.
We're looking for an assistant pit master. We are hiring. We're going to have a job fair soon. We do love the podcast. So because we can't record podcasts right now, we just do our own little videos and things like that. And basically with the social media, it's just document everything, share everything, just be authentic, 100% authentic.
Tell the struggle.
That's
Why is
it,
that
yeah.
so hard? Like, we do have things that aren't always easy. Everybody always
Right.
puts the good highlights on. As a business owner, the good highlights are great. We all want to succeed, but that's actually not the truth of the entire story. There's so much behind the scenes there.
Exactly.
And that should be talked about. Why isn't it? Why would we even hide on that,
Everybody
right?
wants to share all of the good stuff, and they get, sometimes people feel shameful or embarrassed or guilty when things don't go right, and they feel alone. So
Yeah.
that's part of it. It's like you're
So if
not
you say-
alone. We're all going through it.
Try and fail in different areas, try and succeed in different areas, and we all experience it together. And I think it's better if we talk about it
Exactly.
and say, hey, I tried that too, didn't work. I know
Yeah.
what that's like to do mailings or something, right? But with that being said, you talked about the pit master now. So there's an actual title to, not a chef here, the pit master.
Yeah, so it's a pit master. My husband's the pit master. He trims all of the meat, seasons it, smokes it, manages the pit, does all of it, builds the fire, the whole thing. It's a different role from actually being a chef. So sometimes people will call him chef and he'll answer to it, but he's like, I'm not a chef,
Right.
Because it's all the meat side of things. Whereas I'm in the kitchen, I saute, I'm doing all of that grilling and, the recipes and all of that stuff. And his specialty is the meat, and it takes a lot. It's a dedication. It's a 24-hour job.
24 hours. And let's ask it, because you just said you're in the kitchen. So now I'm getting vibes that the pit, whatever is referred to, just like the pitch in soccer, like what is the pit? So the pit is actually where he does all his work, and this is not in the kitchen.
It's where the smoker is. And
Okay.
we have one smoker that's outside of the kitchen a little bit under its own vent hood for inside, and then we have one outside,
Okay.
the stick burner.
Now we're
That's
talking.
so that's the outside one, and that stays outside, and it's an open firebox that
Well, for us, I actually want to get to, for us, because I actually don't know the truth, and I wouldn't act, like I do. So what actually is the smoker? It's not a Restaurant Depot oven you go up the street and buy. These are built, right? And how do they work? What is the idea behind it?
So do you want to ask Sean those questions?
I think
'Cause
we
he
should.
would be totally
We'll go to
much
Sean,
better.
because then he'll geek out on that
Because
stuff.
he's the pit master.
Right, so he's a pit master.
I'm
Okay,
chef.
so we'll get to the pit in a little bit. That's fine. So what happens
There
in
we
the
go.
kitchen then with the other staff? Like, what exactly is everyone's role around here? How does this all work?
Our kitchen staff, I have stepped out of the actual daily cooking and prep in the kitchen as I run the business. I have my head chef, Leo, who manages the entire kitchen. And then we have some prep cooks, line cooks, dishwashers. And for example, right now they're back there prepping all of the food for the week. We try to prep as much as we can for the week. And, it's just vats and vats of sauce and baked beans and all of this stuff that it takes hours and hours and hours to prepare. So it's less on demand. Unlike maybe if you go to a pasta place, they're kind of, throw in your pasta. They can make some sauces on demand. We just don't do that. Everything is made in advance because it cooks for hours.
Right.
So.
And we'll get to that. So not only does the meat cook for hours, everything else, there's some stuff that takes some serious amount of prep time here. Because today you're actually not open.
We're not open today.
Right. This is entirely a day of staff here working with no customers in sight.
Exactly.
And that's pretty incredible that there are full prep days here that go into this work. So this is one of the areas of barbecue that people might not know about. But just to cook, let's say, I don't know, what takes as long as meats? What takes a while? What takes a couple hours? Is it just the volume of everything?
It's the volume and it's the amount of time. We make everything from scratch. Everything is homemade. It's all made from scratch. We're
Safely. Right.
We're chopping and dicing,
Right.
we're putting it all together. We're not taking,
Right.
pre-made items and just cooking it. Baked beans, for example, they take 3 to 4 hours in the oven after they've been prepped, and that's after we've sauteed all the vegetables and everything that we put in it and cooked the bacon that goes in it. So that's like a 6-hour process just for baked beans alone.
But coming from scratch, that gives you complete control of the process, allows you to do exactly what's in your core belief, allowing you to control the ingredients, big safe areas of prep and all of that area, and so making sure nothing gets in your product that you wouldn't want. That's incredible. This all sounds incredible, and I got to be honest, you can't tell on camera, but it smells incredible. Let's go check it all out.
All right, sounds good.
Let's see it.
Awesome.
All right. So today we are back, Code 1. We are ready to put it in order. Let's check it out. So, Erica, where do we start? Let us know.
Welcome to Code 1 Barbecue. We have our menu right here. It's
Love it.
double-sided. We've got platters, combos, meat by the pound, sandwiches, bowls, and we also have some specials.
I love this. So this looks incredible. 4 meats with 3 sides. Oh, wow. 5 meats with 5 sides. That's a family meal right there. So some of the meats, let's talk about them. So what do we got?
So
we got brisket.
We've got smoked brisket, pulled pork, pork belly, pork ribs, and chicken. The chicken is roasted chicken. The rest of the meat is smoked. And occasionally we have turkey on the menu.
Okay. Every once in a while, some turkey legs?
Every once in a while, some turkey.
Now, what about the big beef ribs? You got those every once in a while, too?
So the beef ribs are a Saturday-only special.
Got it.
So if it were Saturday, I could sell you a beef rib if they didn't sell out.
That's right.
They tend to sell out.
First come, first serve.
Again,
we talked about all the prep time. It just, you can't go back and remake another batch of ribs real quick, right?
Nope, they take 10 hours to smoke plus rest time. The brisket's a
time.
12-hour smoke plus rest time.
All right. Now, the meats to die for, I must say.
Yep.
I've experienced this incredible, right? But where my kryptonite at is here is the sides. So first and foremost, my favorite is by far the Brussels sprouts with bacon. And it's like a maple glaze in it. It's incredible, right? What do you guys make that one with?
We make that with love.
I love that. Secret ingredients, right?
Yes, I'm not one to give
stuff.
out the ingredients. It does have pure maple syrup. All of our ingredients are as natural as they possibly can be.
Love it.
That we can, have available to us in Wilmington.
Right. I love that. So what are the sides we got here? What are some of the more famous sides around here?
Our most popular sides are the baked beans, which are not like a traditional Boston baked bean. They're a little bit different. They flavored a little bit different. They're a little sweet, a little savory, a little bit of a kick to them, but not much.
Is that more in the style of a barbecue bean? Is that why? Is that not really the Boston style because that's really barbecue style?
It is just, actually every barbecue restaurant does baked beans or beans their own way. I don't think there is a traditional baked bean for barbecue, unless you're going with it has the onion and the bacon and the barbecue sauce. That's a traditional baked bean. But everybody does their own thing. Some serve black beans, some serve pinto beans, some serve baked beans. So
love it. Now you got mac and cheese on there. That's a killer.
It's a very traditional mac and cheese. It was based off of my Nana's recipe that I kind of doctored up a little bit. And, kids love it. And as a mom, that's one of the most important things, that the kids like the mac and cheese at the restaurant you go to. You
got something safe the kid will like. Okay,
exactly.
I love that one. And then last but not least, I got to plead ignorance on this. Because I am a Yankee, if you would. I'm from the North. I do not actually, in fact, know what a collard green is. So what is that?
A collard green is a leafy green vegetable, sort of like a spinach and a kale. It's in that family right there. You chop them up, and if you don't cook them properly, they can be very bitter and chewy. So you have to basically boil them for a really long time in order to get that tenderness in the leafy green and have some substance that you can eat.
And once again, a long prep time involved.
Long prep time.
Right. Nothing's easy around here. Now the backside, let's go to a lot of people's lunch favorites, the sandwiches. I know all of them are to die for. What's some of your more popular ones there?
The most popular sandwich is the moink, and that is with brisket and pulled pork, and it also has the Texas red and the Alabama white sauce on it, so it's a little mix of all the best things of Code 1 barbecue on a bun, on a brioche bun.
Now, let's stop there because, everything else, you get some bowls, you get some drink stuff. But you just touched on something. Everything's just from Code One's kind of in there. What do we got? What is Alabama white sauce and then Texas red sauce? What do we got for sauces? What do you guys got?
We have 4 different styles of sauces. The Texas red sauce is a traditional sauce that you might find in Texas.
Okay.
It's not too sweet, it's not spicy at all, and you might find also arguments because a lot of people in Texas say you don't get sauce with barbecue. It's not a thing.
Ah.
So barbecue sauce in Texas is a newer thing.
Ah.
The Alabama white is a mayo-based sauce, and it's actually traditional to Alabama. They use that in a lot of their barbecue, especially with pork and chicken. They serve it at many restaurants, and we wanted to have some more regional options for people to try different things, so we chose that as one of them.
Love this.
The Carolina Gold, straight from Carolina. It's got that mustard, vinegary base.
Yeah,
that
the yellowy
people
one.
love. Yep.
Yeah.
And then we have a New England Hot, and that's our spicy barbecue sauce, and it's not really that spicy because it's for New Englanders who don't like spicy things.
Right, we're not a big spice group.
No.
Okay, well that's good to know. So you get a little taste of everywhere, and so
Yes.
so sauces and barbecue, it's kind of a geographical thing. Depends
Yes.
where you're from, where you
Yep,
live.
everybody
it depends on your
has
flavor.
Yeah, everybody has different variations in their sauce depending on where you're getting it. Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, this is all good to know. With that, why don't we go ahead and check some more stuff out? Let's go check out the whole shop.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
I'm gonna do a follow
So,
me like
yeah.
we're on Cribs, like.
So that's it.
Let's go. All right.
All right. It is prep day in the kitchen here.
Yes.
It's Tuesday. We've got our Brussels.
My
Austin's
favorites.
favorite.
Let's go.
Don't touch.
Might take a tray home, but later.
This is Chef Leo. While these might be mostly all my recipes that I started, he is the reason why all the food tastes good from the kitchen right now. He is managing the kitchen, running the kitchen, all of it. So head chef Leo.
Hi, how are you?
Thank
Leo, we really enjoy your food. Thank you.
Yeah, we try to do that. We like
Right.
the customers to be happy.
That's it.
That's what we want.
Yep.
Starts in the belly, right?
Yeah.
This is your area. We'll leave you alone then. All right.
This is where we're doing some
Wow.
gluten stuff. This is separate from the rest of the kitchen. Bella's working on cornbread over here. She's got that going. We got some in the oven already. We're getting ready for that will only last about a day or two.
The cornbread, huh?
This is actually some cake pieces from Not Just Cake. So she bakes out of our kitchen. Toby
Oh,
owns
God.
Not Just Cake.
Okay.
Go ahead, take a little piece. Go ahead, try it.
Nope. Yeah.
Funfetti. Good.
That is delicious.
So she
that
has
is phenomenal.
she has little remnants left over sometime. The staff gets
Oh.
lucky and they get to eat little pieces
This
of
is just
cake
for
and
us.
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here we are. This is the other side of the kitchen. This is a separate prep space that we have. The kitchen is split into 2 separate kitchens. Leo is making some baked beans.
I
we
could
do
dive in that.
vats of baked beans like this that go in the oven and get ready. We can go through one of these in a day.
That was like so
Crazy.
incredible. You go
Yeah.
through a vat in a day.
We could, yeah. Yep, depending on the day.
incredible.
For sure. It's a lot. People love the baked beans. So
I mean,
they cook for
you can't
many
blame 'em.
hours. Nope.
This is incredible. So this is the back side of the kitchen. So we're kind of looping around this way.
Yep.
And so,
So-
what is this all fridge and prep and stuff like that?
Yep. We have
Awesome.
the baker. She has her stuff. She's prepping some stuff. I was hoping she'd be here, but she just took off real quick.
Oh, the bakery, yeah.
So we got the walk-ins back here.
Look at the size of this, by the way. This wall is all part of the fridge.
Yep.
This is all
thing.
a walk-in fridge. Also they custom build these, right? Just like the smokers, which we'll get to. It's nice in here. Must be nice in the summer when it's like brutal, right?
Oh yeah. You come in here and scream when you're aggravated.
That's it too. You got that nice silent area. Come in and check
Did you
this.
wanna
Take a
go?
peek. Look at this. This is where it's at.
This
This
is-
is a
yep.
man's dream right here. Look at that. Look at all this meat right here. This is a man's dream.
And this is
Oh.
just this stuff. We've already got a ton of stuff on for tomorrow. This is just our first delivery. We get multiple deliveries during the week. We
Look at
prep
all the
all of
ribs
the
and
food,
everything. Oh.
get it all ready, stock up all
all
of
the
our
prep.
inventory, milk and butter.
It's incredible.
That's
So
the
exciting.
staff cookie jar. Meaning when that's the leftover. The staff gets to
You
get
know-
lucky and take home at the end of the day.
Second time in a very short period, we've seen you guys taking good care of staff. That's key,
Yes,
right?
yes,
That
it
is such a
is.
key thing here.
100%.
Family.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
This is Sean's meat cutting station. So nothing comes over here except for raw meat. This is where he trims all his briskets and pork and the pork belly and everything else and gets it all ready, seasons it. And then he takes it from here. And for the inside smoker, this is Jolene. And
Jolene. And now,
Yeah.
to the last most important part is the 2 smokers. And we're going to pull Sean in for that too, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about these. So we're going to
Sean
actually
loves
get to
to
this
talk
in a
about
second.
his smokers.
All right. So Now, I officially have the pitmaster Sean with me. So, this is where the magic happens here at Code One Barbecue. That is, as we said, prep time and things of that nature.
Sure.
So, we talked about the pitmaster being in the pit, not exactly part of the kitchen. We walked through the kitchen, we toured the kitchen. This is an entirely separate area where Sean deals with the meat. Now, this is what they call the pit, I assume?
Yep.
And explain a little more about that, yeah?
So basically, it's a reverse force smoker. It's called a cabinet smoker.
Okay.
So
Is this custom built? You don't pick this up at Restaurant Depot, do
no,
you?
you don't pick these up at Restaurant Depot. So there's a company in Maine called Humphrey Smokers.
Okay.
They build certain sizes, and we had them custom built us
Cool.
a size that kind of fits what we needed at the time. We've pretty much outgrown it already, being a new spot. But I'll show you basically how it works.
This is so cool.
So all of our wood goes into this door
Oh, wow.
down here.
Okay.
The smoke goes between all three walls and penetrates the meat and it exits from the bottom. So right now we've got 5 briskets going.
Wow.
There'll be another 5 more, and chicken and ribs and pork butts will go outside.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And just so that we know nowadays with inflation, that's like that's over $1,000 worth of meat, isn't it?
That's well, it's probably not 1,000. That's
About
probably
that.
about my cost of that is probably about 450.
Jeez, yeah. There's a
Yeah.
lot of meat on there,
It's
yeah.
a lot of meat.
And that's some good meat, the brisket. That's the top
all,
meat.
That's all
right.
brisket. Yeah.
Top rate meat.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool. And so now with this, so couple things on this, and if you want to shut, I know that this
Yep.
cooking, but so let's start with, how does the actual oven itself work? You have to feed it wood, like what, say, every couple hours?
No, well, this one, because it's so efficient, I only have to really load it with wood like every 2 hours.
Okay.
So it takes sticks of this size.
Okay. So you get
Um,
split wood.
so you get split
use
wood.
it a
It's
certain
all-
type of wood to
It's all
build
red
flavor.
oak. It's all
Okay.
local red oak. It's all kill dry.
That's important that it's
So
it's all that.
It's all not. It's from Mass.
Okay.
So we're not importing it
Right.
or so.
And it's important to get the red oak, to get it kiln dried, to get
Yeah,
all that.
just so it gets dried out
Yep.
for a couple of years to get that moisture content under 20%.
Got it.
Or it becomes more of a green wood, and
Got it.
the smoke's not that great, and it's not good for the smoker.
Good to know. Good to know. And so now something of this operation, you got 5 briskets in there. When did they start? When are they coming
So
off? How does that work?
these went on about 4 hours ago,
Okay.
and then the next ones will go on roughly another 4 hours. So we kind of stage them. They come off. The first 5 come off, then the next 5 come off later.
But about 8-hour turn times.
Oh, they're
on the
about
full
12-hour turn time.
12 for the whole
Yeah.
brisket.
Anywhere
Okay.
from 10 to 12 hours.
So you started, as you said, 10 a.m. So you will be here till 10 p.m.
I will be here probably past 10 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that, because this is part of being a pitmaster you don't really hear often.
Yeah.
So first off, today the restaurant's not in fact open.
Not
You
open.
are here a day prior.
Yep.
What does that look like? What is the schedule for a pitmaster? I know you need an assistant bad.
Yeah.
But what is that hours wise? You're up at the wee hours of the night.
Yeah.
and stuff,
So I
right?
got here at 4 a.m. just to get it, get
Wow.
both smokers cleaned up, get them
Yeah.
ready. By the time we get these things lit and prepare the meat, we're looking like 4 to 5 hours in prior to these going
Wow.
on.
Wow.
These take these briskets start anywhere between 15 and 18 pounds, and then they get trimmed down to like 10 or 11 to get 5 pounds of actually sellable meat.
And that's it, 5 pounds of sellable meat. Now you said that was your cost, but that is minus the hours of love you have to put
seasoning,
in. The seasoning,
trim.
the skill, the experience of
Yeah.
years of doing this, because like you just said, I'm like, you can't throw pine wood in? No, you can't throw soft wood in, Austin.
No, softwood.
No
Nope.
soft woods. This is all hardwood. This is all like really, in operation. Now, this is Jolene.
Yeah.
Custom built from the main shop.
Yep.
This is, in fact, you said, getting too small for the operation we got going on over here. We're
Yep.
outgrowing it, but it's actually not, in fact, your only
No,
smoker.
we have an outdoor smoker.
Let's
as
check
well.
them out. Let's go check out the other one. All right. Wow, look at that guy. Wow. Look at the size of him. Ooh, ooh. Look at that. Look at the size of this guy, huh? So this is the smoke. This is the actual is this the pit itself, or is the meat part the pit itself?
So the whole thing is considered the pit,
pit.
right?
Got
so
it.
this is a stick, what they call an offset stick burner.
Okay.
And the reason it's offset is because you have your firebox
Off
and
the
that's
side of it.
offset from the
Got
cooking
it.
chamber.
As opposed to underneath it directly.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how does something like this? Does the smoke rise through it?
Yeah. So if you look through the door, so we build a fire inside the pit. There's a hole
Yeah.
inside the pit, from the smoke chamber to the cooking chamber. What that does is the fire maintains inside the box, and the smoke travels on top of the meat and out through my smokestack.
And now, what is the entire cylinder for? Why
So-
is this all there underneath? If
So
there's
these
no
are
coal or anything?
these are all propane tanks.
Okay, so they're
what-
reused.
So what they do is they take decommissioned tanks that can't hold pressure, propane pressure anymore,
right.
and they build them into these stick burners.
No kidding. And
Yeah.
this is all part of this. So this is
Yeah, so what they've
Wow.
done
Whoa.
is this is a 500-gallon.
Okay, that was a lot heavier, that door, than I thought it was going to be, and it's covered in grease and stuff. That was a mistake. I should ask before I touched, but that's incredible.
Yeah, so
So this is your propane tank out in the back of your yard,
yeah, yeah.
and they reutilize this. They cut it down. They weld all this stuff on. So
Yep.
is this the custom?
This
main?
is also a custom built. This
Yeah.
is built out of Texas by a company called Bison.
No kidding. So this is built down in Texas.
Yeah,
And this is incredible. So this
Yeah.
has got to get delivered on a truck, right?
So
This is no joke.
this is like one of the medium-sized ones.
Okay.
So they make a
This is medium.
Yeah, this is medium. So this is a 500-gallon. Typically what you'll see in most barbecue places, especially in Texas, is a 500 and a 1,000-gallon, which is a 4-door.
Okay.
So a lot of guys, there are some in Massachusetts doing it as well, where they got 2 or 3 of these in the back.
Instead of having the big ones. Now, with that being said, this is a 500. You seat how many people in the restaurant now?
Right now, I think it's about 80
people,
I think it's like
86-ish?
106 is what it's.
Okay, about 100. Let's say there's 100 people in there. Now, feeding 100 people when it comes to a 500-pound pit versus the 1,000, like what are we looking at? Why is that so important? And why
Well,
are
so
you getting bigger than
between the
Jolene?
two smokers,
Right. Yeah.
we're probably at like 30 to 40 briskets.
Okay.
Right? Not at the exact same time. I have to split that level up.
Right.
So as far as feeding the entire restaurant, sometimes we can sell out, sometimes we can't.
Right.
Right? Because not all briskets come out the exact same time.
Right.
And that's why barbecue is basically done. It's such a long cooking time,
Right.
but what people don't realize, it's a long rest time.
Okay.
So these briskets will come off tonight. They'll get wrapped up in butcher paper, put in our warmers for another 12 hours before you get to even touch them.
all part of the product.
All part of the
So
product.
when I do business, when I went to business school, you're not just looking at the cost of $450 of the meat. Now you're looking at hours of labor,
Yeah.
hours of love, all that stuff, that
Yep.
overhead, the hours of the meats, the cost of the wood.
Yep.
That's why barbecue is
It's
one of
gotten
those.
so
it's not cheap anymore. It's tough.
When I started this journey, 15, 20 years ago, I was paying $2.18 per pound per brisket. We're well over the $5 to $6 mark on some of this
Unbelievable.
stuff.
So you've doubled your cost since you started. And when did you
Easy.
start?
So I started when I was just getting out of the military. So I took like 2002.
2002, and I actually want to stop there and thank you for your service.
Oh, no
I really
worries.
do appreciate
No
it.
worries.
This is a veteran-owned business. I
It
do
is.
love to point that
Yeah.
stuff out.
Yep.
And this has been one of the coolest days we've had so far
Oh,
in the
that's
Wilmington
awesome.
Spotlight.
That's great.
And this is one of the coolest things. Like I said, I can geek out on barbecue for hours. This has been such an incredible experience. 500-pound smoker, custom built out of a propane tank. The hours, so let's say you got a 12-hour gig going plus 12 hours of wait time. You're looking at a brisket taking 24 hours to cook.
Yeah, by the time it gets to someone's table,
First
about
and last
24 hours. Yeah.
And this involves about 12 hours of that, but also the sit time, the prep time. So maybe even more than 24 when you look at all of it. Yeah.
By the time, because we always try to prep our day ahead.
Yeah.
Days like yesterday and today, we're trying to get all the briskets prepped, trimmed, ready to go, so they could just get on the smoker
Right.
the next day. So
Okay. And that, remember, if they run out of meats, be loving, be understanding. It's not like they can just go back and throw on one more brisket real quick,
and I
right?
always tell everyone, good barbecue should sell out.
It should. You should
Should
be
sell
running
out.
out by the end of the day. And with that, get down to code 1 before it does run out. I just want to actually throw something by, Sean, because like I've heard, and I don't know if any of this is true, the history of barbecue. Real quick, I want to geek out for a second. Some of these meats aren't the best cuts of meats.
No,
They're not the best, but what we do with them by tenderizing, by flavoring them, that's what the idea of barbecue is, right?
So back in, before there was refrigeration,
Right.
butchers had these cuts
Ah.
of meat weren't readily used.
Right.
You cook them to the FDA temperature of 165. A brisket is a frisbee.
Yeah.
Right? It's a piece of
Yeah.
shoe leather. So what they found out was, hey, if I cook it past the 165 to get it tender, then I can finally,
Eat
we
it
can,
and
we can
enjoy
eat
it.
it and enjoy it. And basically, in early days of Texas, as the Germans came into Texas, they started butcher shops making sausages, briskets, and they would make a bunch of briskets because they couldn't sell it. They would eat it with saltines, have a slice of, sausage. And basically that's how it really got popular in Texas.
So ironically, these are the bottom cuts, the low cuts of meat,
Yeah.
the ones people didn't want. And over time, we've managed to specialize them through guys like you, and
Yeah.
now they're the more expensive cuts.
Yeah, well,
That's
more than the guys before
Right,
me. But
right.
yeah,
But that's an
absolutely.
incredible story. And I
Yeah.
just wanted to kind of point that out because that is cool about the history of barbecue.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are, in
and-
fact,
and
meats
that's
that we
a
make better.
That's
Right.
a small history. You
Right.
can go way back to like barbacoa and, brick pits in the ground. I mean, it gets crazy.
All right.
I mean, if you're really interested into barbecue,
Yeah.
I always tell people, go on the internet and actually look it up. It goes back
Dive into the hole.
a huge amount of years.
With that being said, one thing I want to plug right before we actually get out of this is you actually sometimes do pitmaster classes where you talk about this stuff.
we do,
that,
and
but you've been
actually
busy,
we have
right?
one coming up.
You do?
Oh, we do.
Sold out probably.
Not yet. We haven't posted it yet, but it's actually going to be a combined class with my buddy Greg from the Barbecue Broker, who owns another.
Love it.
Yeah,
That's so cool because we love not competing but collaborating as
Love-
businesses.
and that's
We
what-
all work together.
and that's what barbecue is.
What works for you, what doesn't work for us, and let's sit down and talk about over some good barbecue.
That's right.
That's that. Thanks.